Okay, good morning, class. In the last lecture yesterday, we had gone into the basics of inventory management, the preliminary idea of what inventory management is, and how important it is in the whole supply chain network, and how important it is in the operations management subject. Today, we will go into further details of inventory management. We will continue with the basics, and we will try to learn what type of classifications are there in inventory management, what type of classifications are there in inventory types, and so on. So let us begin the session. First is classification of inventory. First is seasonal. Seasonal inventory means there are periods where there are high demands, there are periods where there are low demands. Of when there are low demands of inventory, you stock them, you inventory them, keep them as inventory, and when there is high demand, you sell them. Now, this can be applicable for raw materials as well as finished goods. In the period of low demand, you store the raw materials to be used when the finished goods demands are high, when raw materials gets converted to finished goods. Same thing happens when there is high demand. So, as season in a season, you have got different segments of demands. Similarly, in inventory also, seasonal inventory means a low demand season, a high demand season. Okay, this is seasonal inventory. Next is decoupling inventory. This is disengaging different parts of the production system. The different part of the production system are disintegrated, and they are kept as inventories. The tools and equipment are kept as inventories. Whenever they are required, they will be used or they will be consumed for production. Cycle inventory. Cycle inventory, there are two ways you can deal with the seller, the inventory seller, the person who is selling you the goods. You can take the goods in a cycle. That is, you take a part of the goods, it is finished, then again you go for it, go for a demand, again you take the goods, then again you go for demand. It goes on as a cycle. It helps in building rapport with the seller as well. So it's a cycling process that takes place in your inventory management. Pipeline inventory. Pipeline inventory or transit inventory. Say, for example, you are positioned at location A in a country. Now, inventories are coming from location B, which is maybe 1,000 kilometers away. In a train, it is coming, or maybe in a plane, it is coming, or maybe in a truck, it is coming. Now, while it is coming, it is your inventory, true. We accept that it's your inventory, but you cannot use it until and unless it reaches your warehouse. You cannot use it, so you have to keep it or categorize it as a separate inventory and call it a pipeline inventory. The inventory that is in pipeline, it is coming, it will eventually come, unless of course there is a mishap. It will eventually come, so that is called pipeline inventory. Like we say for pipeline sales, the sales has not yet arrived, the check or the money has not yet come, but is in the pipeline. Okay. Next is safety inventory. Safety inventories are those inventories which are kept below the normal level of inventory. So inventory goes up, then again you consume, again fresh inventory goes up. Before consumption of the total inventory, you place the order because there is a lead time of that is there in between. But if suppose there is a fluctuation in demand and the inventory goes down suddenly, then you will go for stock out. Now the stock out is not good for company. So to prevent the stock out, an amount of inventory is kept as safety inventory. This inventory will only be used when there is a change of pattern in demand, or flexibility in demand, or sudden rise in demand. So inventory falls suddenly. This is safety inventory. Costs associated with inventories. Purchasing cost is the first cost that is naturally understood. Purchasing costs are those costs which are required to pay for the materials that you purchase. Ordering cost or setup cost. Ordering cost is the cost that is incurred due to place the order. The clerical costs, the overhead costs, the transportation costs, all these costs, the communication costs, all these costs that is there to place the order is ordering cost. Side by side, I have written setup cost. Setup cost is different from ordering cost. Setup cost is those costs where you set up your own machines and materials to make your own inventory. If you wish to make your own inventory, not buy it, then setup cost is applicable. Is it clear? Okay. Carrying cost. Carrying cost means inventory holding cost. If you hold the inventory for a period of time, you need to bear some cost. What kind of cost? Cost of electricity, cost of rent of the place, or if you have outsourced your inventory management or warehouse, you have to pay the company to whom you have outsourced. These are carrying cost, inventory holding cost. Even the cost of insurance is inventory holding cost. Then stock out cost. Stock out, we have already seen what is stock out. If stock out is there, you will not be able to produce. That is also a cost. Inventory management. There are four things you have to answer in order to properly manage your inventory. Number one, what to purchase, what you are willing to purchase, the items, how much to purchase. This is the quantitative part of the inventory management. How much to purchase. Next is where to purchase, that is from whom you want to purchase, where to store. It is not necessary that your inventory will always be in your factory's backyard. It can be spread over all the part of the countries. So where to store the inventory is also an inventory cost. Okay. And what is the main objective? To maintain optimum level of inventory. So that you can maintain the optimum level of inventory. Optimum level of inventory means there are two costs associated with inventory that is most important. One is carrying cost, one is ordering cost. If you have, if this is my XY axis, if this is my time and this is my inventory, then sorry, this is my inventory level, the level of inventory. If my order is in bulk, order is of a certain amount, then the carrying cost will go down like this. In this axis, you portray cost, both the costs, carrying cost, ordering cost. In this axis, you put the inventory, the amount of order. If inventory order is high, in ordering cost will come down gradually. Ordering cost. And the carrying cost will go up. So if you combine both the curves, you get this kind of a curve. Once again, I am telling you, if this is the amount of inventory you're planning to purchase, and if this is the two costs, ordering costs and carrying costs, if you have too much of inventory, ordering cost will come down and carrying cost will go up. And this is the optimum inventory level. This is the EOQ, economic order quantity, that we talk about. So this is the calculative part of inventory management. We will deal with it in the details maybe in the next class. Okay. So this is the optimum level of inventory you need to maintain. Objectives of inventory management. There are two categories of objectives I have specified here. One is operational objectives, the other is financial objectives. So operational objectives, we have availability of materials, minimization, optimum level of inventories. These are operational objectives of inventory management. Financial objectives contains economy in purchasing, optimum investment and efficient use of capital, reasonable price mind you, not too high, not too low, and minimizing costs. These are the financial objectives of inventory management. Next, we come to classification of inventory items. There are so many classifications available. These are classification of inventory items, not inventory as such. Each item can be categorized or can be put into one of these categories. ABC classification, VD classification, HML classification, FSN, GOLF, SOS, XYZ, SDE. All these are types of classifications that you can have in your inventory management. Inventories, the items that you have. Now, inside this, on which inventory you will focus less, on which inventory you will focus or purchase more number of times, or which inventory you will purchase less number of times, which inventory you will stock for more, which inventory will stock for less. All these things can be answered using this analysis. So these are the classification of inventories. Next, in the next class, we will get into the classification of inventories in details. So give the test now. Thank you for listening. Thank you, class.